वेलकम टू प्रिंस स्टूडेंट हाउस। स्टूडेंट्स जनरल डिक्टेशन हम आपको दे रहे हैं। मेरा अपना मानना ये है कि डेली स्टूडेंट्स को जिनका स्किल है या स्किल की तैयारी कर रहे हैं कम से कम 2 से 3 ट्रांसक्रिप्शन करनी चाहिए। ईमानदारी से चेक करना चाहिए, अपने सारे मिस्टेक निकालनी चाहिए। और ज़रूरी नहीं है कि जो लीगल की तैयारी कर रहे हैं उनको लीगल मैटर ही मिल जाएगा, उनको जनरल मैटर भी टाइप करनी चाहिए, प्रैक्टिस करनी चाहिए। हम करते हैं स्टार्ट। 100 वर्ड्स ए मिनट स्पेशल डिक्टेशन है जो अभी आने वाले स्किल टेस्ट है DSSB और SSC C ग्रेड पर्टिकुलर के लिए। स्टार्ट करते हैं 100 वर्ड्स ए मिनट। द फियर ऑफ सरप्राइज अटैक्स और एक्सीडेंटल हैपनिंग्स लीडिंग टू dangerous developments in undoubtedly present in the existing situation. The best way to deal with this fear is to reduce international tension and create an atmosphere which will make it very difficult for any surprise attack to take place. In addition, such other steps as may be considered necessary for prevention of surprise attacks should be taken. If there is an agreement on the stoppage of nuclear tests and use of carriers immediately, the danger from surprise attacks will be greatly lessened. While disarmament is by far the most urgent problem and books no delay, we have to face today's situation in Africa, in the Congo, which has led the United Nations to assume heavy and novel responsibilities. Everyone present here, I am sure, warmly welcomes the coming of independence to many parts of Africa, to many peoples there who have suffered untold agony for ages past. We wish them well, and the United Nations has shown its readiness to help them in various ways. There are 3 aspects of this African problem. First, full implementation of the independence and freedom that have been achieved. Secondly, liberation of those countries in Africa which are still under colonial domination. This has become an urgent task. Today, some of these countries are almost cut off from the outside world, and even news is not allowed to reach us. From such accounts as we have, the fate of the people in these countries is even worse than that in the countries of Africa. Thirdly, there is the question of some countries in Africa which are independent, but where that freedom is confined to a minority and where the great majority have no share in it and indeed are suppressed politically, socially and racially in defiance of everything that the United Nations and the world community stand for. Racialism and the doctrine of a master race dominating over others can be tolerated no longer and can only lead to vast racial conflicts. The recent developments in Africa have indicated the great danger of delay in dealing with these problems. It is not possible any longer to maintain colonial domination in any of the countries, and I think it is the duty and basic responsibility of the United Nations to expedite their freedom. There is a tremendous ferment all over the continent of Africa. The question of the Republic of the Congo has especially come before us. The first thing that strikes one is the utter failure of a colonial system which left the Congo in its present state. Long years of colonial rule resulted in extricating vast wealth from that country for the enrichment of the colonial power, while the people of the country remained utterly poor and backward. The situation there is complicated and frequently changing one, and it is not always easy to know what is happening. Disruptive forces have been let loose and have been encouraged by the people who do not wish this newly independent Congo well. Some footholds of the old colonialism are still engaged in working to this end. It is an encouragement to the disruption of the state. We must realize that it is essential to maintain the integrity of the Congo. For it there is disintegration of the state. This is bound to lead to internal civil wars on a large scale. There will be no peace in the Congo except on the basis of the integrity of the state. Foreign countries must particularly avoid any interference in its internal affairs or encouragement of one faction against another. The role of the United Nations is a mediatory one to reconcile and help in the proper functioning of the central government. Help in the development of the Congo is again a tremendous and long-term problem. Ultimately, it is the people of the Congo who will have to produce their own leadership, whether it is good or bad. Leadership cannot be imposed, and any attempt to do so will lead to conflict. The United Nations obviously cannot act all the time as policemen, nor should any outside power intervene. There is an elected parliament in the Congo, though it does not appear to be functioning. It should be function of the United Nations to help the country's parliament to meet and function, so that out of its deliberations the problem of the Congo may be dealt with by the people themselves. The decisions must be of those parliament as representing the people of the Congo and not of others. The functioning of parliament may itself lead to the ironing out of internal differences. I hope that it will be possible soon for the Congo to take its place in this assembly. The Security Council has repeatedly laid stress on Belgian military personnel leaving the Congo. These decisions have apparently not been given full effect to. It seems to me that every type of military personnel of Belgium should leave the Congo at the earliest opportunity. The tangible elements are mentioned earlier. These are conviction, courage, and national pride. And I would not like anybody to think that the pride which I have in view is the very close, narrow-minded pride which is put forward sometimes by some parties in our country who think that national pride consists of getting offended or feeling insulted at the slightest thing that happens. It is only a weak nation lacking self-confidence which feels insulted by other people. As I have said in the House, nobody can be degraded except by his own actions. No country can be degraded except by the country's own behavior and action. And being poor or weak in the way we are poor and weak is not degrading. It is not a good thing, and we must change that state of affairs. But by itself, it is not a degrading thing. It is because of our poverty and our economic condition and our lack of military or other strength, we were to allow ourselves to give up what is in the national interest that would be degrading. Stop. Thank you.